Howdy, y'all, and welcome to the Maple Mafia channel. Today we're going to talk about the trees that are going off our eBay. They're selling on our eBay, going off today. That's going to be May 18th of 2025. They start going off at 6 p.m. all the way until 9:10 p.m. So it's 10 after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening. Which is 20 different trees. Y'all, it's been fun. It's been a great way for us to be able to just offer some unique, interesting varieties. Things we might be one-offs around the nursery. Some rare things we may not have listed yet through our MrMaple website. This is your chance to jump in and find some cool plants. And you can find those by going to mrmaple.com/eBay, which takes you to our seller store for the Maple Mafia. And you can see all 20 items that are currently listed on our eBay channel. Y'all, let's jump into some of these cool plants. The first one that's going off this evening, that's going to be Michael Steinhardt. Now, Michael Steinhardt is an Acer Bajurianum. This is a yellow trident maple that is beautiful. It's super heat tolerant. It's got great orange to red fall color. It's vigorous. So the selection by Don Shadow, named after one of his friends at the time, and it's really one of the best bright yellow tridents that's out there. You may have seen some that are very similar out there. It's called ATA yellow. That means all things Acer. That was a Don Shadow. That was a sister seedling to this. They're very similar, almost identical. And Michael Steinhardt, super vigorous, super beautiful, and easy to grow. I mean, give it some sunlight and you get that picked up yellow color out there in the landscape. This tree could handle full sun in Middle Tennessee. Super impressive on its heat tolerance, and that fall color has just been awesome for me as well. Next up, we've got Millstone Spring Orange, which is a spring interest tree by Millstone Nursery down in Alabama. It's super heat tolerant. It gives you some nice orange colors. And it's one of the first times we've made this tree available. I think maybe one or two other times here on our eBay store, but I don't think it's ever been listed on MrMaple. Y'all, new introduction. There's your chance to grab it. Next up, we've got Emerald Sunset. Now, Emerald Sunset is extremely heat tolerant. It's got a thick purple border to it. It's a selection by our friends at Nishki Nursery in Australia, and it's super heat tolerant. It's very durable, and it may be one of the very best in that Sumagaki type for holding that purple border long throughout the season. You get some really nice yellow-green eye to it with that thick purple border. It's very dynamic out there in the garden. We're talking 6 to 8 foot in 10 years. Good red fall color. A beast out there in the garden. Super beautiful. That purple border is just awesome. Y'all, next up, we've got Mila. Mila is a selection by Dick Vandermatt. It's one of the most colorful trees. It gives some really nice oranges, some sort of reds in there as well, some lime greens in there. It's mixed in. We've got a full cultivar highlight on our MrMaple show on YouTube. If you're not subscribed over there, you should definitely check that out. We put out daily content all about Japanese maples. And one of the things we do are cultivar breakdowns, cultivar spotlights. And we've done one on Mila, and you get to see the colors this thing can actually, it's almost undescribable, the colors it has. I mean, it's just metallic-y red, maroon with orange, lime green. I mean, it's got a lot of great colors in there that are just very beautiful. And it just continues to put on amazing colors all throughout the seasons. It's vigorous. It's upright. We're talking 8 to 10 foot in 10 years. Fairly heat tolerant. And midsummer, it's one of the more colorful trees in our nursery when you're walking through the greenhouses. Super popular. Every time we list it, sells out quickly. Now's your chance to grab a 1 gallon Mila here on our eBay. Next up, we've got another introduction by Dick Vandermatt. We got Acer Subuldianum Ingolstadt. Now, Ingolstadt is a Acer Subuldianum, but the leaves are very Matsumuri-like. So it's a red Matsumuri that is an Acer Subuldianum. Pretty unique and different for what you think of as Acer Subuldianum. You know, there's some cool Acer Subuldianums out there. Sure, you know, Sume. There's ones that have some variegation. We started to find more diversity in Subuldianum because they're hybridizing, and that's clearly what this is. It's a hybrid with a red Matsumuri, and it's a Subuldianum. So pretty cool. One of the few times this one's been listed. Next up, we've got Cynthia's Crown Jewel. Now, this is a dense, compact green Japanese maple that is really beautiful, super slow growing. Think something akin to something like a Sharp's Pygmy. We're talking 4 to 5 feet in height by 4 to 5 foot in width in 10 years. Some good red fall color. known for its heat tolerance. Make sure you give it plenty of good drainage, but Indiana's Crown Jewel is a rock star out there in the garden. Great for containers, great for bonsai. Make sure, like in the ground, you also give in a container good drainage. But the next thing that's up, the Strawberry Spring Fireball Double Graft, that is super cool. That was actually an accident that we found here at the nursery. And we said, you know, this is what the Japanese call a dansugi, where it has two different trees grafted on the same tree. And how it accidentally occurred is, you know, we'd grafted at our Buchholz farm some fireballs. Now, the fireball had actually, the grafted failed, we thought, and they grafted a Strawberry Spring to it. Well, turns out the fireball didn't fail at all. It started growing after the fact. And we just left it there because we thought it was really cool. And so it's one of the first times we've seen a dansugi with a fireball and a Strawberry Spring, which I thought was kind of unique and different because you get that Strawberry Spring reticulated Japanese maple that grows upright, and then you've got this ball that's going to occupy that lower part of the tree. And it's a very unique way that I've seen a dansugi work. Often dansugis, the green will often overtake the red, often when people are putting the one that's more vigorous. But when you have a dwarf and you have an upright tree, they occupy different spaces. And so the trees themselves are allowed to grow individually, which is pretty cool, pretty awesome. Y'all, check this thing out. If you hadn't seen it yet, go check out the photos. Pretty cool. One of the first times ever. I mean, this is a new introduction of Strawberry Spring, a slightly newer introduction on Fireball. And then you add those two together. You got a red dwarf down below, and then you've got a reticulated Japanese maple above. Something next level and pretty cool. Makes me think I need to do a few more of these and offer them here on the eBay channel because it's pretty cool. If you like this is an idea, comment down below because I'm debating on whether I need to be doing, you know, a couple hundred of these a year or not. But make sure that you let me know down below. I'd really appreciate it. And guys, people were jumping on this. I saw people posting about it in the Mr. Maple Friends group on Facebook. That's a great community of people we've got there. That's where a lot of the Maple Mafia share photos of their garden. But people were already posting about this and saying, have you seen this? This is a double graft of Strawberry Spring and Fireball. Something pretty cool. Now, next up, we've got Father Salinas Casey. This is a witch's broom or a blessing that was found by Bob McCafferty. And it got this really nice kind of brick red kind of color. And it gets some green hues to it that come into it throughout the summer. It is a 5-6 foot in height. You know, stays fairly compact, dense. Newer witch's broom. I think we may have only listed before once or twice on Mr. Maple. And here's a chance to get this unique witch's broom here on the Maple Mafia eBay channel. Again, if you're trying to find this, you can go to mrmaple.com/eBay, and that will take you to the seller's page for the Maple Mafia eBay store. Y'all, we're trying to bring you some cool plants and trees that you want. Found a 1-gallon Indian Summer around the nursery, so I thought I'd throw this on here. Indian Summer is an Acer japonicum selection that goes yellows, oranges, and reds, but not necessarily on the same leaf across the same tree. And so you get a tree that's green to yellow to orange to red in different spots, which is very unique. I don't know what causes this type of fall color, but Indian Summer is special in that regards. It changes fall color unlike any Japanese maple I've ever seen, and it's a very popular tree because of that. Y'all have got a chance to get a 1-gallon here on the eBay store on mrmaple.com//eBay, which takes you to the Maple Mafia store on eBay. Guys, next up we've got Jade Dragon. Now, Jade Dragon was an introduction. It was one of the very first introductions by our family. It was when our nursery was actually called Nichols Nursery, and a collector in town had brought my dad cuttings of Jade Dragon. It was a tree that Robert Jackman had found, and it just had this really tight, dense form. It was found off of a Shishigashira, and it's so unique and different, the fact that this thing just has that tight, dense, compact habit, super slow growing. You know, we've been grafting this tree now. The original Jade Dragon is at my parents' gardens, and it's every bit of 25 years old, maybe 30 years old. It's about 4 feet tall and is about 5 foot wide at the top of it. I mean, it stays dense, compact forest, and it's just a cool tree. Super, super dense habit. Next up, we've got Hot Chicken. Now, this is an Acer oliveranum bust at MrMaple, and Hot Chicken is a sessilifolium, and it's a seedling of an oliveranum that we collected at World Maple Park in Japan. And then we started grafting it because it's got just this unique shade of like salmon pink on it in the early spring, and it's got a sessilifolium leaf structure, an angel feather leaf structure, something to the kin of Benny Hagoromo. This thing is vigorous. It's beautiful. It's heat tolerant. And there's a really good size 3-gallon. That was one of our stock plants here at MrMaple. It's, probably very similar size to the original Acer oliveranum Hot Chicken. So chance to get a really nice size Acer oliveranum Hot Chicken here on eBay. Next up, we've got Acer palmatum Hups Dwarf. Now, Hups Dwarf is a really nice, dense, slow-growing selection in that Macaria tabusa family. It has a leaf structure that is a little more curled, but that tight, dense habit that everybody loves. And I do recommend giving Hups Dwarf morning sun, afternoon shade for best growth rate. But, I mean, this is going to be a slow grower. It was found by the Hupp family, Barbara Hupp, and she got it into the nursery trade. And, at the time, they were growing a lot of Christmas trees and some different things. And it's cool that one of their family now is Jason Hupp, who specializes in ornamental trees. So super cool there. Hups Dwarf, though, is just this really awesome small Japanese maple for the garden. Great for containers, great for bonsai. That slightly larger leaf with that twisting gives it a unique texture for that Makawa family style. I think it'd be really cool to start digging down through the genetics, though, of Hups Dwarf, though, because I think there's a lot more that could expand what we think about that Makawa Yatsubusa family. Next up, we've got an XL 1-gallon of Orange Fan, Acer Japonicum selection by Talon Buchholz. In the early spring, it blushes with orange. And I use that term blush because Ed Shin, NJ Acer, developed Blushing Beauty, and he started calling it blushing the way it just has that beautiful, his has a red color in the early spring. This is similar to it, but it has more orange. And so this has that orange blushing to it in the early spring. Orange Fan, named and introduced by Talon Buchholz of Buchholz and Buchholz Nursery. Such a cool Japonicum. I love those big leaf Japonicums, and especially the ones that give you something a little bit extra, because most of the Acer Japonicums, you get mostly just green leaves. With this one, at least you get some really nice orange blushes, and with all Japonicums, you get amazing fall color, and this one is no exception. You get some really nice shades of oranges and reds in the fall on Orange Fan. Next up, we've got another one that's kind of unique this week. One that is different than what you've seen. And what we're listing this week is a red filigree lace that's actually high grafted onto a pine bark seedling. This is actually another, red filigree lace is known for having that sort of really thin leaf. And that red lace leaf that just holds its color so well, and it's one of the slower growing red lace leaves. Well, one thing that we often do with Japanese maples like this is we graft them up higher. As a high graft, you can actually graft that up, start it up at a higher point. It's going to be super slow growing, but it's going to fill out nicely and make a beautiful tree on a high graft. Well, doing that on a pine bark is really unique because you have that 20 inches almost on it of rootstock that is now pine bark. So you've got that as it ages, that becomes thicker and thicker, like Nishikigawa or Arakawa, and you get a unique pine bark on the rootstock itself. So that high graft itself becomes ornamental, and on top of that, you get the red filigree lace. So that's a win-win, and that's a really cool, unique addition here to our eBay store this week. I think that one's going to, I think whoever walks away with that's going to get a winner, something that's really cool, and a custom tree that you're going to find that nobody else has. Next up, we've got Makawa KN going off. Now, Makawa KN translates as gold Makawa. This is a bronze-type Makawa by the same guy who brought us Mystic Makawa. It is slow-growing, and We're talking 3 to 4 feet in height, 3 to 4 foot in width in 10 years. The Makawa family collection, people love them right now. And one of the reasons they love them is because we love them here at Mr. Maple, and we're working hard to make many of these trees available in many different ways. And the next one, Red Panda, is kind of proof of that. We've dropped it many times, and we're continuing to try to offer as much as we can here through our eBay store. Red Panda is the best red Makawa. We've went through 20, 30,000 seedlings of red Makawa Yatabusas, and this one holds its color the best when compared against all the other seedlings we've grown. It's a tree that we patented here at Mr. Maple, and it can be only bought through mrmaple.com and here on our eBay store. Y'all, Red Panda, tightly layering habit, everything people love about Makawa Yatabusa, but you also get that great red color in the spring, and it holds it longer than any of the other types. One thing I will note is, environmental factors can play into the colors on any of the Makawa Yatabusa styles. So you may have perfect red color one season, and then the next season you may not get the exact same color. And you'll notice this with your Japanese princesses. You'll notice this with many of your other colored Makawa types as well. Next up, we've got Aratama. Now, Aratama is a dwarf compact witch's broom, kind of in that brick red color, but it has a amenum-like leaf. And that means it's got a fatter leaf to it on that witch's broom. So it's not going to have your typical leaf that you think of like with a Shana. It's a little bit more rounded and bubbly in its appearance. Super slow growing, 3 feet by 3 feet in 10 years. Aratama, totally underrated. It's a classic selection from Japan. And to me, it's still one that is very awesome. Again, with these dwarf Japanese maples, drainage is key. I think people who grow these in containers may often overwater them and water them as much as, say, another tree you'd have in a container. It's going to need less water because it's growing at a slower rate. So always keep that in mind with many of your dwarfs. Next up, we've got Acer Shirasawa Magic Moon. Now, this is an XL 1 gallon. Magic Moon is a selection by us here at Mr. Maple. That's an Acer Shirasawa. It's a full moon maple, but it has a unique malting-like variegation. It's yellow on the inside of that green leaf. Something magical about this full moon maple. Matt and I fell in love with it. It is very unique because the leaf can contort and twist, and you get that yellow in the leaf. The only thing I've seen similar to it is something like purple coral, but this is on a red. This is on a green Shirasawa. I mean, next level and super cool. Next up, we've got Acer Palmatum Kryptonite. And Kryptonite is a sport that was found on the side of Makawa Yatabusa that has variegation as it matures, and as it matures throughout the season, almost like a Manya no Sato, but on a Makawa Yatabusa. So you get that lime green on green with that elongated leaf. Super, really cool. To me, it's one of my favorite of the variegated Makawa Yatabusa types. And it's one that we got to put that name on of Kryptonite here at Mr. Maple. I was found by one of our good friends, Keith Johansson. And to me, it is super cool and very awesome. Next up, we've got Mystic Makawa. And it's the last thing going off at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mystic Makawa, it's one of the first orange variations on Makawa Yatabusa. Slow growing, 3 to 4 feet in height by 3 to 4 foot in width in 10 years. It's something that's one of those trees that just gives you extra color on that Makawa Yatabusa variation. And it's an orange. It's something that's really, it's showy. It just gives you that just bright appeal in the garden, similar to that of my shirt. And in the early springtime when this thing's on its orange color, it is just dynamic, especially in that Makawa Yatabusa garden. And we have a lot of people who are trying that Makawa Yatabusa family garden now because we've got all these different Makawa Yatabusas and family seedlings from, and these things that we've been able to offer through our eBay store here on Mr. Maple and mrmaple.com. If you're not subscribed here on the Maple Mafia channel, make sure you're subscribed. But also, go give you a subscribe to our Mr. Maple show on YouTube as well. We put out daily content there just for you, all about gardening and Japanese maples. Y'all, thanks for joining in today. Take care, God bless, and have a great day.